Hello there, welcome to another week in our garden. We're not going to talk about the weather, but I will, because somebody's asked me to let her know on the other side of the world what weather we're having in England. So we've had quite a bit of rain this week. It's a nice day today, a bit windy, and we're right down at the bottom of the garden with the pumpkin and squashes. I'm just starting to put some slates underneath the pumpkins to keep them a bit cleaner as they grow. So, and the circles are holding well. They still walk around the circles, so they're holding well at the moment. An odd one keeps popping up, but then I take that down and keep the circles going. They are fruiting, so they don't mind being turned. I've put bottles so I can water where the root is, but they're getting so well grown now I have to keep putting another bottle on top. There's 3 bottles there now, but I can still water and it goes straight to the root. Now I just use these slates just to slide underneath. They're old shed slates. When we took the old wash house down, I saved some and we'll slide them underneath. It just keeps them a bit cleaner. There you go. Doesn't matter about, we haven't squashed the stem, so that'll be fine. There's another one here in bright yellow, this one, but we'll do the same. We'll just lift it up carefully, clean it a little with my fingers, and then push the slate underneath, and it'll sit better on there than in the wet soil. Go around all the pumpkins and squashes we see as we go, and we'll do each one. There's a nice green one here, that'll polish up well when it's finished, when it's ready. Again, get the slate ready and I'm cleaning underneath. They're a fair weight. Cleaning off best I can underneath with my fingers. Put the slate in and just pop it on top. You see that one will polish up beautiful. Now we're under the arch, the squash arch as we like to call it now. And as you can see, 1 or 2 are beginning to come through. I don't know what that is, but we'll see what happens. There are some very, very nice ones. Diane will just show you some that we've got beginning to form inside our arch, our squash arch. That's a nice shaped one there. Different. I just hope it holds. Another one forming there. It's a bit small yet, but we'll progress from there. Another one there, very small yet though. We'll progress. Keep you updated with the progress of these smaller ones. Over here we've got loads of white small ones. I should remember the name of this one, but I've forgotten it. Another different shaped one there, look. All sorts of shapes and sizes. 2 more here. I've slated them ready. They're staying nice and clean, and they're swelling well. They've doubled the size in the last week with all the rain. This one looks like your normal everyday pumpkin. Doing well. It's put it on a slate ready, so we're alright with that one. As you can see, the circles are still going round. There's another one over here, I'll just show you this. This one will need a slate under it, so I'll just carefully do it. Just clean it a bit with my fingers. There you go. It'll sit nicely on there now. That's how the pumpkins are progressing. They're still growing. There's a lot of foliage here, but we are still able to walk between the circles, so they're doing well. Everything seems fine down here. We'll now go and have a look where we've harvested the onions and show you how I'm preparing the ground for the next crop. Okay, while we're passing, we'll just talk about the beans now. Next time I see you, all the beans will be harvested and hopefully frozen. The plants will be taken down and we'll start and prepare the soil for the next crop. This is bed C, where we had the onion crop this year. I've lifted the onions, put them in the shed to dry. We actually made another rack in the end to hold them, there's quite a few. So now, while we was in the shed, more observant people asked me what I use this for. It's a drawer fork. And we've had 2 days of rain on here, so I didn't touch it. Yesterday we had a day of sunshine, but I wasn't here yesterday. So you can see how the ground has really gone hard. And then your rain tends to stay on the top rather than drain in. So this is where this comes into its own. Okay, so what I do, if you get the angle right on it and just pull it through and push it back, keep it going, and it breaks that top up. Now if you find it hard work pushing down with the fork, right, as you draw towards you, if you turn it to one angle, you'll get a deeper one on that fork prong there, and that will cut that way, and on the next one you turn it the other way and it'll cut that way. So if it's you can see it breaking the top up, but backwards and forwards, it changing the angle, change the angle. See, if you go, you can keep going until you're nearly the depth of the forks. If you're raking and you get to a weed, turn your fork on its side and you can cut your weed off as well, you see. But you'll find most weeds will just rip out with the roots. What I'll do, I'll finish this bit of an area here, do it both ways, and show you how it can really break the top of your soil up for you. If the soil gets a bit lumpy, as it does with this clay land, you can always turn this over and chomp the lumps out as well to break the soil down. You can chomp the lumps out as well with it and then just lightly rake it. Useful piece of kit. Now I'll just show you my old one. This is the old one I use. I tend to use this one between the rows of the seedlings and the plants. It's a similar thing, it's got an extra spike on it, but it's about worn out. It used to be quite long, but I've worn it down. But it's very, very good. Really does break the top up. And I use it the same way, I use it for chomping as well. It does break the soil down. Very useful tool. It would take quite a bit of time with the small one, so now with the new big one I'll be able to cover more area. While we're here, we'll just say that I'm about to lift the beetroot for bottling and preserving, and the celery, we'll still be using it in salads, so I shall harvest it in batches, but a lot of it will be used for the freezer. It'll be frozen for winter use, for the soups and stews, etc. So, next time I see you, there'll probably only be the celeriac left in this tunnel and a few onions that I put in just to fill it up, and a few radish. We'll just now have a look at the potatoes we've been doing, and I've lifted a few and we'll be able to show you what the blight looks like in the potatoes. Right, this is bed B, which carried the main crop potatoes this year. Quite heavily hit by blight. Now I've cut the rest of the tops off because of the wet weather and the wind. I couldn't spray, so we had to give up in the end and just cut the tops off. I have marked them with the cross sticks. Those are the ones beyond the cross sticks that need a couple of weeks just to harden the skins up. Right, I have lifted a few, and not all is lost. There's some potatoes still in there. These are the Maris Piper. Not too bad. A few of the King Edwards we had. Again, it's a very small crop to what we would have had, but we have got something. I have lifted one root of Desiree. It would have been a cracking crop this year, but as you can see, that's just off that end. Then they're not too bad. There's no blight showing on them, but it's early days for blight yet. I'll show you now what I've been looking for while I've been harvesting them. I've popped my gloves on to show you this. Can you see the white dots on that Desiree potato? Can you see them? See them white dots? Especially on there, look, that's blight. That potato will rot. It's very fat. There's a classic picture of it, you see. And within a few days from that happening, you get this, look, total. See the rot? That's what blight does. Once we've got the white speckles, then it goes into that. There's another one here, look. You see it's got white spots on it, so those go. And another classic one, can you see it? That's blight, and it smells awful. You always, once you smelt it, you always know the smell of blight. It's all in all of these, look, you can see. You see, now if you don't catch them now and you put them into storage, that will be in with your good potatoes and just rot through the lot. Every potato that touches will go rotten. That's why I've had my gloves on. I didn't want to touch that. I will put these in the shed in boxes, and I shall inspect them regular to watch out for any white dots or rot forming. And I shall also be smelling, because once these start to go rotten, it does give off quite a pungent smell. And if I walk in the shed and I smell it, I know I've got to go through the taters and find the rotten ones. And every one it's touched, it's got to be taken and thrown away. That's the trouble with blight. It's not very nice. You'd have thought that technology these days, we would have had a spray to stop blight forming on potatoes. But never mind. We're just going to pop to the brassica tunnels on Bay A, so we can harvest a cauliflower and cabbage ready for the weekend. The other thing is, with the blight and everything, we need to get these potatoes out and away and start preparing this bed now for the next crop, which will be the legumes, the beans, the peas, the onions will all go into this bed. I'm just going to pull that cauliflower out. It's called Fairway, it's got the label with it now. So we'll take that one while we're here. Diane doesn't want a cabbage, so she's still got two left, so we'll leave this one to grow on a little. So I'll grab him and see what we can do. Oh, we need the soil behind. They are rooted well. Bit of a messy leaf there, look. Take those off. Oh yeah. And if I just cover this up in case the butterflies come, I'll lift up and show you. Now why I like Fairway, it does tend to cover itself with these leaves. This hasn't done an awfully good job, because you see how it's purpled it where the sun's got on it a little. But that's fine, it's not going to alter the cauliflower at all. Not as white as last week's, but then again we've had a bit stronger sun. So I'll cut the bottom off and clean it for you. Just cut these off, look. There you go. Nice cauliflower for the weekend. We've harvested the onions and put those to dry. We're getting the potatoes up and sorting those, and so we can clear the bed. Then next week we'll have to start and plan what we're going to do next year to the brassica bed, which will be bed C, and the legumes, the beans, the peas, etc., and the onions, which will be going in bed B. We need to plan it all out and prepare the soil for the winter, so it's got all winter to get ready to receive next year's crop. But in the meantime, we've got a lovely little harvest for the weekend. Now we have a nice little harvest here. We've got another cauliflower, a little bit of colour, but that's no problem. So that's about the last of the carrots of the earlies this year. We'll have to bridge the gap with some bought in ones until the lates are ready. Now they won't be that long. Some more lovely beans. The beans are tasting beautiful this year. And what I've done, I've lifted the potatoes and we're just going to try a few for the weekend, see how we get on. The rest I'll put in the shed out of the way. They're Marish Piper, by the way. Now we'll pop up to the greenhouse because we've got those tomatoes leaves to thin down a bit so we can ripen the rest of the crop. We also need to pick a few tomatoes this weekend because we're getting quite a few ready, and the cucumbers ready again. So we'll pop up to the greenhouse and thin those plants down. Right, we're up in the greenhouse now. Now, as you can see, the tomatoes are putting on a lot of growth leaf-wise, and a lot of it is stopping the light from getting to the fruit and ripening it. So what I normally do this time of year, I take a lot of the foliage off now. As you can see, a lot of the foliage is old and tired anyway, so we'll take a lot of this off. I'll do 2 so you can see it, and then I'll finish the whole house for next time you come in. It looks quite drastic what we're doing, but we've got the height we want, we've got the fruit we want on, so now we need to ripen the fruit that we've got. I've already took one branch off here that was covering those. You can see the ones that's had the light are red, and the ones that haven't had the light are still green. So take some of this foliage out. I'll get on. And I'm usually about halfway back on the leaves. I'm not going to take them off at the stem, just halfway back. And then if you see where the leaves are actually stopping the light, just take them off. I'll just put the leaves there. There's a classic one, you see that there. So we'll take it off here, like that. This one's the same. So follow it back. We'll take it off there. You have to be careful you don't snip the trusses, else the whole lot of the trusses will fall off. This has got a runner on the end of it, look, so we don't want that on. That was sneaking up the back. Back leaves as well, don't forget. It'll let the air flow through as well. So we're done to there. That one. That one. Right, so we'll thin this here now to let the light through. Here's the leaf, and we'll take it just beyond that junction, and there, look, cucumber's doing quite well there, but it doesn't want to be tied in with all the tomato leaves. There you are. All the way up. You see these are beginning to stop fruiting a little now, and I think if we get rid of some of these leaves, they might just start again swelling. This one needs to come out, not to ripen that. That one there. We need that out, look. And that one. We'll just take the end off that one. There you are, that's that tomato cleaned off a little. I'll just take that off, look, that more. That'll let lots of light in now and finish the tomatoes, except for that one because I've just knocked it off. As you can see, this one is ripening very well, but there are still a lot of leaves blocking the light from this side. And as you see, the leaves are coming to the end anyway. Let's take them there. This will be a lot better. On the compost heap, by the way, with your leaves, rot down very quick. All the way up to the top, so the light can get right through the plant. I have known some people who take all the leaves off towards the end of the season, but at this stage of the season you want some sort of leaf on it to keep the growth going. Towards the end of the season, and you want to finish them off, take them all off, it'll be fine. So that's a very nice tomato to finish. All these will ripen now, and we can get them stored away and preserved, ready for the winter. Right, so that's the tomatoes started. I'll have to finish the whole house. There'll be several wheelbarrows full when I've done it. I just want to show you the peppers that are colouring up nicely, and I'll also just show you the tomato that we did the graft on. It's produced a lot of fruit. It was the earliest one to start fruiting, and now it's nearly finished. It's over that side, so it's worked very well. I'm very pleased with that. As you can see, the peppers are yellowing up nicely now. They're doing fine. I don't remove any of the leaves. It looks like we've got a slug that's doing it for me, so I won't remove any leaves to let the sunlight onto those. It's more that I think the warm air passing under them that ripens them off. This is the tomato we grafted. As you can see, there's only 3 good trusses left on it now. It's fruited beautiful. It's actually a gardener's delight grafted onto a money maker. The graft is still there and doing very well. It really has produced well. It's coming to the end now. It'll be the first tomato in the house to finish, but no problems, and the fruit tastes absolutely beautiful. Right, it's Friday today, so that'll be about it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for subscribing, and next week we'll have a look at those beds that should be empty, and we'll start to think about the preparation for next year's crops. So hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye now.